My honor to introduce Michelle Lee, who is, of course, the Undersecretary of Commerce for Intellectual Property and Director of the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. And as Undersecretary of Commerce and Director of the PTO, Michelle Lee provides leadership and oversight to the USPTO, which is the largest IP office in the world with over 12,000 employees and an annual budget of over $3 billion. Ms. Lee is the first woman to serve as Director of the PTO in our country's history. And before her role as the director of the PTO, she was also deputy director, and before that was the first director of the USPTO Silicon Valley office. And she comes with lots of experience in private sector, including having been the deputy general counsel for Google and the company's first head of patents and patent strategy. So with that, I'd like to go ahead and invite Michelle Lee. Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine, for that very kind introduction, and good morning, everyone. Welcome to the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Thank you for being here today, and a special thanks to George Mason University's Center for Protection of Intellectual Property for partnering with us on today's program, which looks to be an outstanding program. We're very excited about having it. So, as Elaine mentioned, licensing and patent licensing is something that's very near and dear to my heart. I spent many years in the private sector and in-house working on countless patent licensing deals, mainly domestic, but a few international as well. And so I saw firsthand the value of patent licensing to businesses and to industries. And the goal of today's program is to discuss, of course, the importance of IP licensing, especially technology licensing, to the United States and the global economy. Here at the USPTO, we tend to focus mostly on issuing patents and registering trademarks, but we're also very well aware that IP is a private and commercial right, and that the monetization of those rights, including through licensing, is what really gives the right and ultimately the system value to intellectual property. So broadly speaking, licensing generates revenue and stimulates further investment in product development, improvements, and follow-on innovations, which is why, as part of our agency's mission at the United States Patent and Trademark Office to foster innovation and economic growth, we provide developing countries with technical assistance on licensing. And at home, too, we organize training events for our domestic audiences on licensing as well. With the support of the Global IP Academy, which you're sitting in the location of the Global IP Academy, the USPTO staff has organized many international and domestic seminars, conferences, workshops on technology licensing, and many more involving intellectual property protection and enforcement. One purpose of these programs is to help U.S. companies protect and maximize the commercial potential of their intellectual property abroad. So, for example, because we recognize the importance of the Chinese market, we recently conducted 2 licensing programs with China's State Intellectual Property Office. One on protecting and licensing IP derived from research and development, and we're planning another program on licensing with China's Ministry of Commerce, so the MOFCOM, on improving China's licensing laws. Another important purpose of the program is to promote commercialization of technology and collaborative partnerships to address the global technology needs. So it's not just about commercialization of IP, but also addressing some real health and technology needs. Still, another important purpose is to help improve the global IP protection to encourage innovation and economic development. And we accomplish all these goals not only through our teachings here at GIPA, or the Global IP Academy, but also through our advocacy and international engagement led by our Office of Policy of International Affairs and supported by a team of very talented and capable IP attachés located across the globe. We have about 13 of them located across the globe in very key areas. In addition to these efforts, on the domestic side at the USPTO and the Department of Commerce, we've launched a first-of-our-kind collaboration with Cornell University to accelerate commercialization of new technologies. The program provides the USPTO and Department of Commerce resources to students, faculty members, and the New York region's tech entrepreneurs. These resources include IP strategies, export assistance tools, government grants, and academic partners and relationships and introductions. We also connect students and faculty inventors to early-stage investors. The USPTO has also long supported individual inventors of the likes of Edison, Morse, Goodyear, as well as large companies in their efforts to spur innovation and commercialization of innovation. Our Inventor Assistance Center and various partnership conferences bring together inventors, entrepreneurs, and manufacturers and USPTO representatives. In fact, just downstairs today in Madison Auditorium, the USPTO is hosting the Additive Manufacturing Partnership to bring together various stakeholders in the area and very exciting field of 3D printing. Such conferences are not limited to the United States Patent and Trademark Office's headquarters at the USPTO in Alexandria. The USPTO currently has 4 regional offices, which also host similar programs. I had the privilege, as Elaine mentioned, of heading and being the first head of the Silicon Valley Regional Patent and Trademark Office, and those regional offices in Detroit, Denver, Dallas, and the Silicon Valley also host programs on licensing strategies. Finally, our Chief Economist Office, in cooperation with the Bureau of Economic Analysis, works to compile information on the importance of intellectual property and licensing to the global economy. So, to facilitate today's discussion, we've divided the program into 5 panels. You'll hear discussions on, first, how licensing contributes to the U.S. economy, then how it fits into the big picture of trade and investment, then how to understand cross-border challenges and opportunities, and additionally, licensing is not just about revenue, but also about, as I mentioned, addressing human and technological needs, which is why we have a segment on life sciences discussing licensing issues on life science technologies. So that's a 4th area. And finally, we'll wrap up and have a panel discussion on the government's role on promoting licensing. I hope the program stimulates a productive discussion on what the U.S. government and the private industry should be doing in this very important area. We at the Patent and Trademark Office, of course, welcome your ideas on how we can further support U.S. companies to maximize the economic impact of their technologies and their innovations here in the U.S. and abroad. And with that, I have the privilege to introduce our keynote speaker this morning, Deputy